Yes, I want to be Tal. Yes, I want to find the best combination. But at a certain point, if it's not there, it's not there. You can't force your opponent to blunder. You can't play hope chess. Just go to the end game. That's it. I'm going to throw in a bonus one. And this one might actually be the most important. It's about everyone's favorite topic, openings.
If you're a chess player, chances are you have goals. And if you're like most chess players, that goal is probably to reach 2,000. For some reason, this number 2,000 just has an effect on chess players. If they're not asking, how long is it going to take for me to become a GM? New players will ask you, how long before I can reach a rating of 2,000? Well, I just reached that rating online on chess.com, and I'm going to break down in the simplest terms 3 things that helped me finally crack and break through the 2,000 barrier. And we're going to jump right into it. So what you see in front of you, Alex Doing versus Byredo Phantom. This is the game that I won to officially cross 2,000 and become 2,001 rated. The first concept is very simple, and you've heard it before. When you see a good move, find a better one. The move that I made in this position is pretty simple. I want to take advantage of my opponent's weaknesses. So the move that I played is g6. Obviously, I want to annoy this rook. I can't take because of this pin, but I want to annoy the rook, and I want to induce a mistake by my opponent. My opponent made a really committal move, okay? And it's not a move that at first glance, maybe to a lot of people, looks like it's automatically losing, but it definitely looks weird. And when you see something like this, I think a lot of people are very quickly saying, okay, my rook can be attacked by like my bishop if I drop it back, or my king. Let me just make one of those moves. Let me just go and let me just attack. The problem is that when you see a good move, find a better one. There is a much better way to attack this rook in a way that the rook cannot escape. If you just take a second and pause, you can find this amazing move to just automatically win material. Okay? Because maybe you didn't see it right off the bat, but the queen hits the rook, right? And the queen also hits the bishop. So in this position, you just win. Completely win off the bat. Instead of trying to move the king and maybe move the bishop and maybe do something weird, just take a deep breath. Everything's going to be okay. Just look for a better move. Now, there's not always a better move there, but in this situation, there was this better move, and I ended up forcing him, I guess, to sack the rook, and then he sacks the bishop as well. And very importantly here, this actually leads into the next concept. I didn't just rush and take the bishop. What I did here was I made sure that my opponent doesn't get counterplay ever by pinning his queen to his king. So I'm up a rook for a pawn. I don't really need this bishop to win. So I just simplified the position and I went on to win the game. And that's actually exemplified in rule number 2. Just simplify. Don't be afraid to go into the endgame and simplify the position. Here's another example. Imagine you have no time or very little time. Look at this position and tell me what move you're going to make. Okay, if you said like push your pawns or move your king, maybe those are the best moves by the computer. But in practical terms, with your time ticking and you just need to win, the move that basically automatically wins is very simple. Bishop d5. Why is this a good move? And why is it the move that I would recommend you play in almost every situation like this? It's because it forces the minor pieces off the board. And in this game, this endgame, look, you can just push your pawn up the board and you're going to beat this pawn. It's pretty simple. It's impossible to lose this position, really, if you think about it. So after you take, and it goes here, you just take, okay? Now I start pushing the pawn. As he starts to run over, you think, wait a second, he's going to catch me. No. He can't catch you, right? In a position like this, bang. Now what are you going to do? If you take, I'm the queen. Like, it's just really simple. I lose a lot of games on time, and this concept of just simplify, don't spend forever thinking about this complex way to win. Just get the win and get it done, roll your sleeves up and do it. I think this next game also shows this concept in a really clear way. So we have this position. My opponent just played knight b5. And there's a lot going on here. I mean, you could probably in a classical game sit here and calculate what's the best move. I mean, like, there's potential forks being threatened. I've got a weak pawn. He's got a pawn side majority here. Maybe he's going to get a pass pawn. This knight is controlling. These knights are controlling key squares. There's so much happening. But the problem is that I only have 7 minutes left. All right? So I don't want to sit here in the middle game and just lock in. What's the absolute best move? I have to be... I'm not playing Stockfish. I'm playing another person who has the same amount of time that I do. So the idea here is not necessarily just simplify, because that's almost more for like the end game or when you have a clear advantage. The idea here is don't be afraid to go into an end game. For some reason, I just had this inherent fear of the end game. It wasn't I was sitting there biting my nails. Oh no, the end game. It was just that I thought I had to make a winning move every time I moved a piece in the middle game, in the opening, whatever. But that's not the case. So when I realized, wait a second, I'm in a complicated position. I might lose on time eventually. Let me just simplify. Let me not be afraid to go into an end game. And look, I just start forcing the trade pieces. Now the computer's not loving this, but if we turn the evaluation on, it's also not hating it. All right? It's not like I went from being +5 to 0 or from 0 to -5. No. I lose 0.5 of an advantage. And what? I get to be much more comfortable and not super down on time in the end game. Yes, it took me a couple minutes to say, okay, this is what I want to do. But I have 5 minutes here. Okay, it's not like I have 30 seconds, which is what used to happen to me. I would go into the deep think tank, and then in the end game, I would just lose because I had no time. This is a complicated end game. It's not super clear. I have a slight advantage according to the computer. Let's see how it plays out. Okay? There's a lot of moves to be made on the board, and there's some very clear weaknesses that I'm able to start targeting. Look, I found a good move. Okay? My knights are hopping around the board. I'm targeting these weaknesses. I'm trying to get a pass pawn here, and I'm trying to not lose material at the same time. So what's able to happen? What am I able to do here? I'm able to trade material. Okay? I did miss something there apparently, but look, it's still winning. I'm just making moves, and I don't have 10 seconds. I have 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and I'm still winning. I have a passer. I have an outside pass pawn. I'm about to win his pawn. And I have a majority on the other side of the board. So why would I be super thinking here? No, just win the game. Look, ready? Just win the game. This is it. Super simple. This is an end game. I used to be scared of these. Don't be scared of the end game, especially if you're slightly better. Why try to convert a slightly better position in the middle game if you could have a nice position in the end game and have good chances to win? It's not guaranteed, but look, we're just pushing the pawns and we're just checkmating. See, that's the way that I needed to learn to play in the middle game. Yes, I want to be Tal. Yes, I want to find the best combination. But at a certain point, if it's not there, it's not there. You can't force your opponent to blunder. You can't play hope chess. Just go to the end game. That's it. So I said there's only 3 tricks. I'm going to throw in a bonus one. And this one might actually be the most important. It's about everyone's favorite topic, openings. I talked about the middle game. I talked about the end game. Let me actually talk about openings for a second. So what you see in front of you is an analysis of my games from a 2-month period, August to October, for rapid games, okay? And analyzing my games as black. What you can see is that, yeah, I was losing a lot of games as black, all right? Particularly against E4. Look it. I only won 5 games out of the mix that's here. Out of 21 games, I only won 5. That's bad, okay? How do we change that? What was I even playing? I was playing some combination of the Sicilian and the Carl Khan, but look, I was getting absolutely smoked in the Carl Khan, right? And I was actually, wait a second, winning some games in the Sicilian. So what do you think I did to be able to win more games to be able to hit my goal? I re-examined my opening repertoire, and guess what? When I analyzed my rapid games from October 2nd to now, which is December, look what happened. I actually won most of my games with black, especially against E4. And what did I play? I played the Sicilian. So this is a really simple one. If you've never used openingtree.com, you absolutely should use it. It's free. You can look at all your games within a certain period of time. You can see where you have strengths. So, for example, when my opponent plays f4, I've won all those games. When my opponent plays knight f3, which is the open Sicilian, those are competitive. I'd take 50% there. It's pretty good. My opponent plays c3, a pretty solid score. There's not any glaring weaknesses that pop out here because I've been able to look at this and I've been able to remediate it. Now my next goal is to say, how do I actually win even more games against c4? But that's the next trick, and hopefully that's in the next video of getting to, what, 2200, something like that. That's it. That's how you get to 2000. That's how you break the final barrier to get to 2000. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below what your current rating is and when you would like to be able to crack 2000. Let me know in the comments. And if you want to support, as always, make sure to subscribe to the channel. There will be more videos like this and some more chess comedy videos coming in the future. All right, take care.